Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Roman's Christmas. We have just introduced all of our characters, and we're all staying in this tavern. There are currently 4 characters, and we like to solve puzzles and mysteries between us. But we've gone to bed, it's a late night, we've had a bit of a drink, and now we're going to chill out and see what's going on in our dreams. So in my dreams, I could hear a voice coming from downstairs. The sound reverberated through the empty hall, as if I were lying in the cradle when I was a child, hearing my mother hum an unknown lullaby. But the tune of music had a kind of disharmony that was distinctly sinister. Sort of like when you open your eyes, only to find your cradle dangling off an edge of a cliff. The strange midnight music was unsettling, like something dark and ominous was about to spring out of the shadows to grab me. Do you want to go downstairs and take a look? Do we? I mean, let's have a look. Let's go downstairs and have a look. It's a little bit creepy, but it's not good to just ignore it. I can't sleep anyway. I climbed out of bed and took my dagger out of my inner pocket. Moving carefully with the dagger behind my back, I slowly cracked the door open. And when I pushed the door hinge let out a loud squeak. I hadn't noticed the noise before I went to sleep, but given how quiet it was at the moment, any sound would seem to be magnified 1,000,000 times. The music downstairs stopped. I locked the door and sat in bed until it stopped. I didn't hear any other noises that night. What was that? What was that creepy noise then? Day 2, 24th of December, 1285. For the rest of the night, I slept comfortably and dreamlessly. The first day of my holiday. Looks like I get to spend my Christmas holiday with a half-mad bard and a mysterious adventurer in a tavern in the middle of nowhere. And eat nothing but vegetarian dishes all day long. Truly, such extravagance would make even the Pope himself jealous. There was a thick layer of snow on the windowsill, but it was sunny outside. I held the handrail of the stairs and went down slowly. I could hear the sounds of wooden cups knocking on tables from the hall, and the smell of barley spread throughout the fire-warmed air. There was all kinds of people here. Sure enough, more guests came out as soon as it was sunny. Who's this? Finally up, eh? God, it must be nice to have a cushy smart guy job where you don't have to wake up before dawn. Oh, come on, I only get to sleep late during the holiday. I scratched my dishevelled hair a few times. Yanis, why are you here so early? The dog's completely frozen, dude. It's either be bored at home or come drinking at the tavern. He reached out and clasped hands with me, squeezing tight. What the hell? I still need that hand, you know. Maybe you should exercise more. How are you going to catch criminals if you can't even take a handshake, dude? Yanis clapped me on the shoulders as he spoke. Easy. I'm just messing with ya. So, you're going to stay here during the Christmas holiday. I figured someone like you would go on a trip or something. Oh well, I can't travel with these injuries. I think you broke something important. Well, maybe I should put you out of your misery then. No thanks. If you pat me to death, you'll just ruin Sarzan's business. Okay. Yanis grinned and raised a hand just as Sarzan poked his head out of the kitchen. Remember this, Yanis. If you keep messing around, I'm going to throw you out. Not everyone here is a big buff and tough like you, sailor. For example, Peter. Here's Peter. It's Peter Rabbit, of course. Don't look down on me, dude. Peter slaps his hands on the table as he stood up. But it's true, I mean, I've never seen ENS lay a finger on you. That's because he knows he can't mess with me? Really now, you want to take me on, Fluffy? No, I don't want to end up losing control and breaking you in half. Oh man, either do it or shut up. Well, it's not like my body's weaker than yours. Okay, there are some things that don't have to be false, don't worry about it. Oh man, why must different races be so different? At least everyone's the same in the legal sense. What's the use of that? I don't need to deal with criminals every day like you. The law's unequal, and it is my business. Besides, what else is the same in the legal sense? Booze, money, room charges. Those aren't even legally mandated. That's just you being an opportunist. Speaking of opportunists, hey, Kane, did you find another job yet? So here's Kane. Well now, a few days ago, the cook at this small restaurant nearly quit because of a low salary. I figured I'd go try my luck. I mean, it's a long shot, given how many times I've been canned in the past. Maybe try to get hold of your temper. No one will dare hire you if you have another attack. If you could control your temper, perhaps Sarzan would hire you as a kitchen assistant in the busy season. Look, if keeping my temper was as easy as you said, then I wouldn't have gotten kicked out of so many. This guy is sweating. It's okay, nobody in this world's perfect. I'd better comfort him a bit, or else he'll end up blowing up later. I just want everything to go smoothly this time. Kane started to drink alone. It seems that everyone hasn't changed much. It's the same as last year, when I couldn't get a case and spent a lot of time in taverns. Ah, the good old days. Sure, being broke and staring at an empty wallet hurts, but in the company of my friends, life doesn't seem to be so sad. So what do I do? Okay, we can talk to people. What is the map? Go to the hall, upstairs, the cellar, the kitchen, and the toilets. Okay. And we can look at our characters, can't we? Here we go. So we are Roman, we've got Sarzan, Anox, Elegant we've met, Ianis, Peter, and Kane. And these are the characters we just met. So what do we want to do? So we're currently in the hall. Should we just talk to people? Let's chat in the lobby. So who can we talk to? Maybe I should get a cup of ale to soothe my throat before I start talking too much. Okay. So do we get ale in the cellar? I'm a little thirsty. Maybe one more drink. I squeezed behind the counter, grabbed a mug and slipped into the cellar. I'm sure that's allowed. Wait a sec, I better ask Tarzan first. Okay, go back up. So let's go to the... He was in the kitchen, wasn't he? I raised the board that separated the counter and the hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Sometimes I wonder how Tarzan can cram himself into such a small space. I poked my head through the curtains. Tarzan was washing the dishes, but stopped and turned to me. Okay, so we can talk, right? What's the matter? Can I have a drink, please? I'm a bit thirsty after chatting all morning. Mind if I help myself to some ale? Okay, just remember to turn off the tap, okay? I took out a mug from under the counter and slipped into the cellar. That was easy. After filling my mug, I took a sip and considered my next course of action. Ah, ale, the lubricant of both minds and tongues. I raised the board that separated the counter and hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Tarzan was cleaning the dishes. So can we keep chatting? What's the matter? What about Elegant's room? Elegant's still staying here, right? What room's hers? Third room on the right. Oh, cool, thank you. So, where should we go? We can go talk to her if we want. What's in the toilets? I'll go to the restroom and comb my hair. There we go. I wipe my hands, pose for a better angle, and comb my hair carefully in the mirror. Falling grey hairs fluttered down like snow from my scalp, eventually landing in the wash basin. Shedding season has already passed, obviously. Even those falling hairs had regrown in the winter. Maybe I should take care of myself better the next time I get busy. The last thing I need to do is look terrible in front of clients. Okay, so we've brushed ourselves up. So are we still chatting with the guys in here? Who are you talking to? Or we can pick. Let's go with Rabbit Dude. I sat across from Peter at his table. Peter looked up at me. Roman, do you think there's such a thing as true fairness? Still struggling with the same problem, are you? Compared to a lot of places in the world, Apollion's pretty fair. Where else could you see so many different species being friendly in the same tavern? This place is the exception, not the rule. There are dozens of restaurants and taverns in the capital which only serve meat-eating animals. Although it's forbidden by law, they always have ways of avoiding it. They just tell the inspectors that wonder of wonders, there were no herbivore customers that day, or the day's special and just happens to be grilled veal. You know, most of the inspectors are carnivores too. So even if the reasons are just poor-faced liars, they can get away with it. There are so many injustices in life, why do we pretend not to see them? Apollion's still young, and things take time to change. Not everyone has time to wait, man. Okay, let's talk to... more to Peter. Can we keep talking? Or let's talk to everyone a little bit. Ianis. I took my mug and sat opposite this dude. Before you start, I'll pass on the shoulder smack, thanks. Ianis, half standing, took his hand back and slowly scratched his hand embarrassedly. Oh, sorry, old habits. It's just a friendly greeting, all. That's one way to put it, I guess. Looking to chat. I mean, let's talk about life by the sea. I'm a little bit curious about how life by the sea actually is. Life by the sea? It's nothing special. You know how most folks like you visit the sea on holiday? It's kind of the opposite for us. It's nice to get someplace far away from the brine and constant motion. Us sea folk are so used to the terrifying waves of the sea, it's kind of relaxing to enjoy the inland life for a while. After all, it's not like the earth will rise up out of the blue and swallow your house and everyone in it. That's not impossible. You know, like earthquakes and stuff. The sea's like that all the time, and earthquakes only happen every so often. Wow, aren't you a big tough sailor though? Why do you fear the waves so much? The expression on Ines' face froze suddenly. You don't understand. You looking to chat? Okay, so why not the seaside taverns? Aren't you satisfied with the taverns near the docks? Why come all the way here to the White Star? Have you been to those taverns, man? I came in and had a look when I was handling her case. Then you saw the fish hooks and fishing nets they like to hang on the back of the wall behind the counter. You're scared of fish hooks? You would be too if you were a shark. Okay, that'll have to do. Seems like you didn't drink enough, so you ran out of talking material away. Okay, so let's talk to Kane. I took my mug and sat down by Kane. It looked like Kane did notice me as he scooped up a spoonful of stew and watched it dribble back into the bowl. I can't blame Sarzan. What? Stopping his hands, Kane looked up at me. Nothing, I just feel Sarzan's cooking skills, you know. It's not bad. Indeed, the vegetable stew is excellent by the standards of a carnivore. Other carnivores won't taste anything weird. I don't want to sound like a herbivore supremacist or anything, but I still think that it's better to leave cooking vegetable dishes to people like us. I can almost hear the radishes in this stew, screaming from mistreatment. Okay. Your mood when you cook beef. Our relationship isn't that bad, is it? Of course. Then, can I ask you a sensitive question? You're not going to get angry, are you? How could I not be angry with you? What's up? Well, do you have some, unique feelings when you, cook steaks and stuff? You have no idea how many carnivores ask me the same question. What do you think about wolves? The ones that walk on four legs, I mean. Oh, there was a stuffed wolf head as a wall hanging thing in my house, but other than that, I don't really have much of an opinion. So there must be a difference between animals that are eaten and, the human ones that can speak. If you're fine with the stuffed wolf head, then I'm fine with cooking steak. After all, it's not like the meat came from someone I know. Okay. Is that everyone? Oh, Anzox, I forgot about him. I sat by Anzox and held my cup. What's up? Let's talk about Elegant. What do you think? Well, she doesn't seem fond of idle chit-chat. And since when do nuns show up in taverns? Maybe she's looking for wayward souls to shame or something. Could it be Anzox might know why Elegant's here? Maybe Sarzan asked her to come over and sing Christmas carols. Never mind. Okay, you got any new songs? What you got? Anzox, have you heard any new songs recently? Yes. Oh, is he gonna sing? Because I'm not doing it. Okay, sounds good to me. The fee is 1 silver sate, please. Wow, you're greedier than Sarzan. So I think that will do. Let's talk to Peter again. Peter's in one of his serious moods today. Maybe I'll sit somewhere else. I think we are done. So let's move upstairs. Maybe Elegant's around. Oh, we got the attic. Let's check out the attic. So this is where everybody else seems to hang out. The attic was Sarzan's room, though Anzox was also living there temporarily. There weren't any stairs between the third floor and the attic, only a ladder that went up and down. The ladder was unusually pulled up into the attic, but you could use the rope connected to the top of the ladder by a pulley and bring it down. The rope, which was set between the second and third room on the left, dangled loosely. The ladder would drop down if someone pulled on the rope in order to get upstairs. I really shouldn't enter Sarzan's room without permission, though. Okay, then let's talk to Elegant. I knocked on the door, on the third room on the right. Who's that? It's me, Roman. What's up? Is something the matter? I mean, can we not just talk? Are you there? We know she's there. Let's talk about the disguise. I just want to ask a quick question. What? Elegant opened the door and stood there, looking at me expectantly. Her hand didn't leave the doorknob. I want to know why you're dressed like that. I asked it in a low voice. Do you wonder about the reason which I dress like this? Or are you questioning the motive? Why not both? Elegant stepped away a bit, leaving enough room for me to squeeze through the door sideways. I'm not sure if I should try. Her body language and expression suggested she wasn't looking for company. Would you rather stand at my door and speak? You are aware of the recent arrivals downstairs, are you not? She moved back again further. I slipped into the room and she shut the door behind me. Okay, let's have a chat. They're regulars here, decent people. You don't need to be too worried about them. They might be decent individuals in this place, but that doesn't mean they're so outside of it. You've already seen through my disguise, so I feel no need to hide. The same cannot be said for them. As of the moment, the only ones I trust are Sarzan and you. Oh, I didn't realise I was included. That's an honour. Given your relationship with Sarzan, I can trust you, for now. I'd make an excellent ally. There's no great reason why I'm here. I got a big job in the last tavern. I don't suppose you'd be willing to share next time? Only if you accept a 90-10 split for the fee. Wow, do I get the 90? Elegant cleared her throat and continued. Are you familiar with the Cathedral of St. Isaac? What's that? It's a cathedral under Rimph Diocese, currently under construction in the capital. 12 years ago, there was a disaster when one of the central pillars collapsed. The noble brothers who were supervising the construction site, the eldest called Brando and the youngest called Jonathan, were buried under the rubble. According to reports of one of the junior clergy to the local abbot, the collapse was caused by the brothers, who had lined their pockets by using substandard materials and cheating the workers. So the story proved to be the perfect tool to persuade others to donate. After all, everyone fears the punishment of God. People were willing to give up anything, as long as they avoid the flames of hell. According to reports of one of the junior clergy to the local abbot, the collapse was caused by the brothers, who had lined their pockets by using substandard materials and cheating the workers. So I'm guessing you were hired to investigate further? Yes, now that I've settled in, I plan to insinuate myself into the cathedral. Your client didn't tell you to come to the White Star, did they? Of course, travellers and mercenaries tend to stop in taverns such as these as they travel. You know as well as I that the tavern rumour mill is awash with contacts and ways to exchange information. But why spend so much money investigating a closed case about something involving the church? That's neither my problem nor my concern. Take the job, perform the job, take the payment. Anything else is immaterial. I do not concern myself with any secrets my client may have. Elegant turned and opened the door. It seemed that she was counting my questions as immaterial as well. Elegant turned and looked back to me, waiting silently. Well, I'm sorry to bother you. I left quickly and sensibly. The door shut behind me with a click. All right. So, where should we go? Go back to our room, I suppose. Oh, yeah, this is our room. We can kind of chill out here. Better return to my own room and do something else. Search the room. What do you want to do? Can we read more of the book? Open a random page of the book. The law in Apollyon is merciful. It shows leniency on those who have the sense to regret their actions by exempting their sentence or sending them into cloisters to be civilized. For those criminals who are unrepentant, the Helios Code has enough regulations to punish them to make sure they never commit a crime ever again. Thus the vicious crime of a more barbarous age has faded in Apollyon since the era of Helios I's wise rule. Without the sin of racial hatred, Apollyon shall become an ever-improving land of peace. Oh wow. Okay, so is that everything? I think we've spoken to everyone. There's no one in the corridor. Let's move back downstairs. So I think that's about it. I've kind of looked around a bit and I think now we've done all those conversations, there's nothing else to do. So let's take a nap. No, taking a nap is better. I'm too lazy to take off my boots. I'm just going to lay here for a while. Just going to chill out. It is our day off. So yeah, the rain had stopped. The packed dirt, now dispersed from the narrow alleys by the rains, remained on the centre of the road after the rainwater flowed away. No one pays attention to their feet during a chase. Grey muck spattered and burst on the narrow alley walls that even one person could barely squeeze through, then slowly slid to the ground. The spatial structure of this place was impossibly complex. Unable to build outward thanks to poverty, the locals instead took a more vertical approach. They built Babylon-esque towers into the sky, exploiting the potential of every inch of their narrow settlements. Everything was delicately balanced. Shelter supports bending incongruously to hold up walls that were ready to collapse, which in turn bolstered cracked ceilings, held up the hulking canopy of homes above. A resident screamed as I raced by, a rusty watering pot jolting freely with her hand and dousing her patchwork dress. I felt like I was blind as I mounted the stairs 3 at a time, my breathing heavy, as I chased after the sound of running. I rammed my way through a wooden door, and the smell of mildew burst into my nose. Dim and soft light spilled through the cloudy sky, but that was enough to blind me after spending so much time in the dark staircase. The roof I had entered was completely different though. Furniture was scattered randomly like debris after a storm, the wood cracked and the varnish peeling from exposure to the elements. Dozens of pieces in different styles and ages, like museum display of furniture throughout the ages. My quarry and I fought. I grabbed at him, but he pushed me away. The roof opened up and swallowed me. The time of my fall felt like forever. I think the nightmares are getting more frequent. Oh wow. So, I guess we can go back outside, right? There's no one in the corridor. Can we talk to Elegant more? Or maybe she's done with us for today. And at the door, on the third room on the right, she ignored my knocking. Okay, let's go downstairs. Into the hall. Let's continue to chat in the lobby. What's up, guys? Nearly lunchtime. Go have lunch or chat some more. Let's hang around. Let's talk to All of these guys. Anzox, what's up? I can't think of anything I can talk to Anzox right about now. Let's talk to someone else. Yeah, we have done all of these conversations before, so I guess we can have some lunch, right? Yeah, lunchtime. It smells like vegetable stew. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that Kane decides to bust into the kitchen and, I quote, show you idiots what actual vegetable stew's like. Luckily for you guys, he cooked the stew before I managed to herd him out into the street. The bad news is today's lunch is vegetable stew. That's fine, I've given up anyway. Anyway, bon appetit. I stirred the stew with my spoon, and the thick soup swirled slowly in the bowl. Ionis was holding the bowl to his face and dumping the liquid into his open maw. That really can't be a healthy way to eat anything. Kane ate his masterpiece contentedly without any hesitation, while glancing at me secretly from time to time. I lowered my head immediately and had a few bites. Hopefully it was tasty. But it's nice to relax by the fire in the afternoon. The snow was falling again outside, so Tarzan needed to sweep the snowflakes which were blown in from the doorway. Soft snow heaped on the street and muffled all sound, like when you block up your ears with soft cotton. Everything bad or unpleasant, from outside disputes to bad ideas, is muffled by the snow. The slightly sweet scent of the air, chilled by the winter cold, lingers in the nose. The wind, heavy with floating snow, tapped the wooden door enough that a band of sunlight could shine through the gap across the wall. Suddenly, the door swings open. Who this? Oh, it's cold. Can I get something to warm me up, please? A fluffy white fur dragon staggered in, dragging a suitcase that was almost as big as he was, and leaning on a cane. What's the child doing out here in the snow like this? Well, hurry up, boy. Come on in, have a rest. Don't call me boy. Would a child be carrying this? He produced a medical license from his pocket and brandished it up to Tarzan like a dagger. Tarzan frowned as he read it. Oh, my apologies, Master Doctor. Please forgive my rudeness. The last thing I need is to freeze to death before I get back to my clinic. I'll just be waiting for the snow to calm down. Of course. Please warm yourself by the fire. I'll carry your things. Tarzan tried to lift the suitcase, then let out a laboured groan as he shifted it. What in God's name? It's so heavy. The dragon took off his thick and heavy coat, climbed onto the chair opposite me, and reclined with a sigh full of contentment. Greetings, I'm Thrivey, a physician by trade. He rose slightly and stretched out his right hand. I returned the handshake. Roman, it's a pleasure. Maybe I'll be your patient in future. His lips convulsed lightly. I hope that day never comes. His hands were covered with soft white fur from the palm to the back of his hands. The stray snowflakes which he brought from the outside were melting on his fur. He looked like he'd fit in with some of Tarzan's paintings. Now then, where in blazes am I? I never passed by here. The only reason I managed to spot this place was the lamp outside. This is the White Star Tavern. The White Dragon looked at me with confusion. The Vela District? Vela District? My word. Well, I hadn't expected to get quite so lost. He shrugged his shoulders and looked around. Just then, the door shook violently and gave the blizzard access to the inside of the room. The falling snowflakes flew up and down with the invading storm. At the same time, someone cursed loudly in the cellar. Mind your language. There's a child. No, he's not a child. Fuck off. I'm not no child. The gale howled outside. If someone were to go out now, he'd be mad or suicidal. Normally shutting the door was an easy task, but became much harder than usual in this situation. The snow from the crack whirled around my nose and eyes. I shut the door with all my strength, and then found a chair to block it up. Oh man. As I moved to sit back down, the door hinges creaked loudly as someone rattled the knob. What? Is someone stuck out there? Oh hell. There was a hyena lying there, wrapped tightly in a thin hooded robe. Is this a tavern? Please, I humbly ask for shelter and a warm hearth. May I stay? He crawled to his feet in embarrassment as I shrugged as an answer and pointed to the cellar, just as another crash echoed from within. I'm not the boss. I can't call the shots here. Perhaps the owner will show kindness and not hurl me into the street? He took off the robe on the back of the chair and kicked back and leaned heavily. The partially suspended tray groaned under the pressure. Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, going so soon, Doctor? Tarzan stood in the doorway to the cellar with mugs of ale in his hands, as Thrivey was getting up from his chair. I'm not feeling well, and I want to find a place to rest. Have you got any available rooms? How strange. Thrivey looked fine just seconds ago, but now he looks pale and weak. Let me think. I haven't cleaned the other rooms yet, otherwise I can offer the space I have in the attic. Thrivey walked to the stairs quickly, politely refusing the cup Tarzan offered. Thank you, but I'm a little queasy at the moment. My stomach's a bit too delicate for alcohol. Well, no need to waste such fine ale. Tarzan stared in surprise as the hyena plucked the mug from his hand without any hesitation and intended to drink. Hold on, you're a friar, aren't you? Perhaps he's also a pretender like Elegant. Don't bother with such rigid rules. Ah, 'tis far nobler not to waste the gifts granted by God. Well, how should I address you then? Tarzan crossed out a whole line on the bill with his pencil, then added a few words. It seems like you don't go to church on weekends, or you'd know my name. I would go, but seeing as I'm the only one working in the tavern, I don't have much chance. Please excuse me. With a slight frown, Tarzan turned back and quickly retreated into the kitchen. I supposed that he would stay there for a long time. Oh, I just remembered I've got something to do. What else is more important than rescuing your soul, my child? Come now, stay. At the moment I touched the stair railing, the hyena had pinned my hand with a smile. The blink of the cross which hung from his chest was dazzling. Well, so much for escaping. What's your name? I believe I've never seen your face before in my church. Oh, I'm not in this parish. Doesn't matter. Even though we're from different parishes, all of us are in the same family. I'm Father Heron. Nice to meet you. I stretched out 3 fingers and gingerly shook his hand. Roman, nice to... He interrupted me before I could get a word in edgewise and began to make a speech without any pause, gesturing toward me excitedly. Tell me, child, do you know where we will go after death? I'm sure you never think about it. How to settle your audiences to sleep? Step 1. Ask a question and answer it yourself. He let go of my hand, and I quickly climbed the stairs. That's it, run. Thrivey was standing in the corridor and staring blankly up at the ceiling. Surely there's a way to... Here, let me help. I went ahead and untied the knob step by step. This white dragon watched as I untied the strings from the wooden handle quietly beside me. Okay, I've got it. Next step, you just kinda... let loose directly. Why don't it just drop down and squash someone? Release it slow. I put the ropes down step by step. The ladder dropped slowly with a squeak from pulleys. Finally, the ladder descended between us. Oh, so that's the trick. Thank you. It seems like you're familiar with this place. Yeah, I'm a regular, so I know a few things about it. The white dragon caught hold of the handrail of the ladder and tried his best to climb up the very steep steps. The spacing of the ladder's rungs was suitable for someone with Tarzan's size, so it was a little bit large for him. But okay, the nightstand was half opened. I quickly moved, pulling open the drawer and begun to search. Someone's gone through our stuff. Someone's broken into our room. My wallet was still there, as were my magnifying glass in their fleece bag. The evidence case for the crime scene, though, I rummaged through the sundries I had stored in there, my hand dipping down into the drawer. Finally, my finger touched a cold and hard object buried deep among the linens. There it is. I tucked the case back down, deep underneath my things, and stuffed everything back into the drawer. I quietly cursed the lack of a lock. The cheap bastard Tarzan must have thought nobody would bother to rob his guests. Imagine that. Nothing was lost, but I know I didn't leave the drawer open. Think who had access to my room after lunch. Only 2 can be excluded. Who didn't have a chance to enter my room after lunch? I mean... Tarzan and Heron, really. Tarzan managed everything all times downstairs, so he didn't have time to go upstairs until now, so he's out. Heron, he chatted without a stop in front of me since he got here. He might have a bad impression of me, but it wasn't of him. As for everybody else, I'll need to investigate. Okay, I locked the door and went downstairs. Well, what else would you like to order? Okay, we've met a bunch of new characters and someone broke into our room, so we're going to investigate this a little bit more in the next episode. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.